Welcome to the Board of Assessors September 16th meeting. We are here this afternoon with board members Bill Johnson and Marilyn Gaddini on phone, and Director of Assessing Diane Bishop. And pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 330A, number 19, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can accurately access the proceedings in real time via technological means, and will be posted on the Town of East Long Meadow website as soon as possible after the meeting. In addition to being posted on the town website, the meeting recordings will be aired as soon as possible on LCAT's cable channel 192 and LCAT's YouTube channel LCAT 01028. And begin the meeting with a review of the minutes from Bill Johnson from August 19th meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I have reviewed the open and executive session minutes from the August 19th meeting, and I find them to be in order, and I move that they be accepted.
Oh,
I second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Roll call vote.
Oh, roll call for this, okay. Roll call vote. Marilyn Gaddini,
Yes.
Bill Johnson,
Yes.
Martin Grudgeon, yes. We have some warrants.
Yes, and my apologies for getting them to you as late, but it is a 2020 motor vehicle excise commitment 5 in the amount of $77,969.32. And if we could do a roll call vote on that and the next one, if you approve. The next one is the 2020 motor vehicle excise commitment number 21. These are rebills from other communities, and it is in the amount of $155.89.
Do approve, and we'll take a roll call vote for both warrants. Bill Johnson,
Yes.
Marilyn Gaddini,
Yes.
Martin Grudgeon, yes.
Thank you.
And we have motor vehicle abatement.
Yes, we do.
One from 2020 for $4,700.89. Take a roll call vote on that also? Or is that just a report?
This is a report, and yes, we do need a roll call vote. This is the end of the month report for all abatements for the month of August.
Okay. Bill Johnson,
Yes.
Marilyn Gaddini,
Yes.
Martin Grudgeon, yes. We have the LA3 sales report. Everyone have take a look at it?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions about it? Any odd sales anyone wants to know about?
I do want to point out that one, if you look on the first page, I don't know, about 7 or 8 down, you'll see O
Yep.
value is 0 and the assessment to sale ratio is 0.38. That
Yep.
property has been coded out. It was a partially completed property, but then after July 1, it sold for full value. So that will be coded out as to be an improvement after the sale.
And it sold for that amount they're given?
Yes, it did.
Sales were all over the place this time. Many in
A lot
the
of sales.
many in the 80% bracket.
Yes, you are absolutely correct.
Is the one on the second page, the 0.66, a partial value for the current value?
Yes, I didn't see that one, but absolutely. Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Okay,
That will be coded out also. It will be the same situation as the one I just discussed.
Okay. That's a good number there too. A lot of building, a lot of sales in East Long Meadow.
Yep.
A
Yep.
lot over 500,000 also.
Yep.
Okay, any discussion, any other questions on the sales report? Bill, anything? All set with that?
All set.
All right. We also have the building permits for August also.
There were 2 new dwellings for the month of August, and we are up to 19 new dwellings for the year to date. So again, as you just mentioned, the construction is just really booming right now.
And both for single-family homes, not condominiums.
That is correct.
Okay. I think that's it. Nothing outstanding on building permits, so we'll go to fiscal 2020 motor vehicle excise reimbursement. And do you need a signature on that one eventually?
Yes, I do. So once it is reviewed and voted on, a roll call vote. So then when the board members have an opportunity to stop in to sign, we can already get this submitted into the state.
Okay, we got a reimbursement of $2,192.52, which we will approve and make a roll call vote for Bill Johnston,
Yes.
Marilyn Gadini,
Yes.
Martin Grudgeon, yes. Okay, well, now we have director's report from Ms. Bishop. Mrs. Bishop.
Okay. So here we are, September 16th. The town office is still closed, and we've been getting a lot of phone calls with applicants who are looking to figure out how to submit their exemption application. So we have made the decision this year to mail every person who received an exemption last year, and this would be for veteran, for blind, or for elderly, that we're mailing the forms. We're sending a letter along with them, reminding them the documentation that's needed, and also the different ways that they can get this application back into us. So they can send it by regular mail. We do have lock boxes outside of the entryway of the town offices. And if somebody needs copies made or just wants to make sure it gets into our hands, they can call. They can either set up an appointment or call from the parking lot, and we can go out to the doorway or out to the parking lot if we have to. Masks are required, social distancing is required, but we are certainly working with the taxpayers in that manner. So please note that they're going to be going out October 1st, right around the time that the tax bills. And this year, because we do not want to have an influx in the parking lot on the same day that tax bills are due, we're going to start taking the applications about 2 weeks earlier. So I do find that our exemption applicants, they line up on our door on the very first day that we start taking the information. So starting October 19th, which is a Monday, we will be starting to take in the exemption applications. So again, if they need assistance from us, give us a call. If they would like to have some personal contact regarding assistance, we now have picnic tables outside that they can sit down, they can sign, we can assist them in any way. So just so
When
everyone.
When do they have to be in by?
So if they want to see it on their tax bill,
Yeah,
and a lot of people like to see that the exemption has been deducted, they need to have that in by early December so the assessors can vote on it so we can get it onto their
Okay.
tax bills. If they do not get it in by that time, they still have until April 1st
okay.
in order to apply. And we do have a policy in place that anyone who has applied in a previous year, if they did not remember to send the application in, we do send anyone who received it the prior year, and we didn't receive the application a letter about 6 weeks before the deadline to let them know that it is available to them, and if they still qualify, sometimes it's very helpful to the applicant.
Okay.
Starting on Monday, September 21st, we are welcoming back our furloughed employee. I know that she is looking forward to coming back to work. It's been a challenge trying to keep up with the workload with only 2 of us here. So we're hoping that each day brings a little COVID normalcy back into our lives. We're not
Welcome
quite
to
sure.
Nicole.
Is
I'm
she
sorry?
coming-
Welcome to Nicole.
Yes,
She coming back full-time every day?
that is our goal.
Okay.
Yep.
Now you're all working in the office, Diane?
Yes, Carrie Ann and I have been in the office full-time. And it is set up for socially distancing.
Yep.
When we get within a close proximity of each other, if we have to walk to the copiers, we are required to wear masks. If we're sitting at our desks, because we are beyond the 6 feet distance, we're pretty comfortable that we do not need to have our masks on.
Yep.
But yep, we're all back. So.
Cool.
We are going to be discussing our sales analysis after the director's report, but for the past 2 months, I have been working on it, and I did send it out to the board for their review, with hopefully to have a good discussion and to make the decision so we can move forward with our values for fiscal 21. And so I'm not going to go into that too much, so the assessors all have an opportunity to hear everything, read everything, and then to have a discussion and make a decision of the direction. And due to the most recent warrants that the board just approved, I just wanted to share that these bills will be mailed on September 25th. And they'll be due October 26th. At that point, this is for anyone who bought a new vehicle or registered an older vehicle and it was later in the year. That is what this next group of bills will be. So it was about 580 bills to be collected.
Okay.
And so that's it.
That's it. Thank you for the report, Diane. Now we'll move into discussion for fiscal year 2021 valuations, which is more the value of property as of 1/1/2020. I was in the office with Diane. I don't have any paperwork in front of me. I think unless anything has changed, we were looking at an increase of about 3% for residential property. Did Bill and Marilyn see any of that?
Yes, it was
I don't
emailed.
know how I missed. Yeah, I don't know how I missed this. I'm just pulling it up now.
Okay.
I don't know how I missed it. I thought I looked at everything.
So it would have been sent out last Thursday or Friday when I sent all of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have it
I'm
printed out.
sorry. I don't. I
It
stopped
should
at
have,
11:14, evidently.
well, guess what 12, 13, and 14 was?
Yeah, I know. I got it. Now I got it. Yep.
I don't have it in front of me either, but I remember the discussion. Residential, that includes condominiums or not condominiums, Diane, I forget.
It did,
Yeah.
when we
Yes.
originally
It
looked
says
at it,
residential. Yeah.
when we originally looked at it, we were really focusing on single family homes, but I did go into detail regarding the condos, and it appears that those would be increasing in the same manner.
Okay. And we have a new depreciation table that we are implementing also. You want to just talk about that for 1 minute, Diane?
1 minute, okay, I'll start timing. So the depreciation table was updated So we now have the new calendar year 20 because homes are built, and so that allows all other homes that are older to depreciate. Any home that is built in 1968 or up to the current 2018 will have seen a small depreciation. Any home that was built in 1967 or prior, they're at the maximum depreciation based on the economic life of a home. And the only changes that an older home would see in their depreciation is if their condition, the overall condition of the property changed. And as I had wrote in my little overview, that there are a handful of homes in East Long Meadow that have continued to deteriorate due to lack of maintenance. A lot of these we're finding as homes where older folks had lived, and then it goes to their estate or their heirs and devotees, and generally those homes eventually get bought and flipped. But at this point, they still have the overall condition is not as good. But then there are many homes built prior to 1967 that are in exceptionally good condition due to maintenance and a great deal of remodeling. So the depreciation table has been updated, and that's a little information, less than 1 minute, I hope.
That was about 2.
Oh, okay, sorry, long-winded.
And so 3% depreciation, and how about industrial and commercial?
So we did review, when I looked at all of the commercial and then the industrial, I'm just looking for it where I have it written down, that we had, I think, 10 sales, of which 3 may have been arm's length, and there was no indication to make any changes. The other thing that the board has to also consider is a lot of our commercial properties are based on an income approach to value. And although COVID did not happen as of 1/1/2019, 1/1/2020, looking back at their 2019 income and expense, we may be finding that there might be some issues in the next year. So I think that even if we had a couple of sales that would say, yes, they should go up a couple percent, I would think that the board would want to really weigh the decision to raise and then possibly have to bring it right back down in a future year. So it's just something that the board could consider, but there was no indication that the values have increased based on sales.
Okay, so I would, at this point, recommend no percent change up or down for industrial or commercial.
I agree.
And our last item would be personal property. I think there are some changes for that.
So granted, when we changed the the depreciation table, we also updated the depreciation table for our personal properties. So naturally, if you have an asset that was a 2018 asset and computer, for example, that will have depreciated like another 20 or 40% because of the depreciation table. So people who do have older assets on personal property will see the value decrease a little bit. And then naturally, any new items are at the current rate of depreciation table. Depreciation tables, we are on a 7-year depreciation, first year being 100% and then 10% each year dropping down, retaining a 30% residual value, with the exception of computers or high-tech items, and that's on a 5-year schedule.
Okay. Do we make a motion to accept the 3%?
So,
Or do we still need some input from Bishops and Associates?
so what I would say is, because the tables, we made all changes in the sales analysis side, And we wanted to make sure that the board was comfortable with these values, that now if the board votes that they have a comfort level and this is the direction to go into, I can start tomorrow by updating our, I'm going to call it live database to get our new values. At that point, you will see that it's a 3%, and then I will be able to start populating the forms for the Department of Revenue so I can send in to get our values approved, new growth approved, and the interim adjustment approved. So I would make an assumption, but it's entirely up to the board, that I would make these changes, provide you additional actual old to news or what have you, spreadsheets, so you can get a good feel of the way that individual properties have changed. Regardless, we know that's what the market was showing us. And at that point, I am going to need for the board to be signing off on all of the LA forms. So I'm going to make an assumption you're going to want to have a brief meeting to review that information, vote on it, so I can submit it to DOR.
Okay. So at this point, I, want to go forward with the 3% for residential for an increase of 3%. And for public knowledge, this is for mostly or all sales for 2019 for residential property.
Mhm.
We do look ahead early 2020 for any other indicators, but overall, this value increase is as of 1/1/20 of 3% for all residential properties. And any input from Bill or Marilyn would be great, but I think we could go forward with the 3%.
I agree.
I do too.
Okay, so you can work on that, Diane, and always, the old and new are always good to look at.
Okay. Do you think the board would be able to accommodate one more meeting this month just to review? I'd send out the old to new, and then if everything looks good, just to meet so you can sign off or vote on the LA forms. Or if the board wants, it's a matter of signatures now, I can, once they're ready, send them out to all board members, and then you could come in individually and sign off. I cannot submit until I have signatures.
Yeah,
So you're going to send us the spreadsheet and then we can look at it and come in. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we could do it one of two ways. Yes, I would send out the spreadsheet and everyone could review. And then we have two options. We could meet and
Okay.
vote on the documents on a Zoom session, or you can come in individually. The board has just agreed that all residential properties are going to go up 3%. But I'm whatever the pleasure of the board is.
Yeah, we'll come in individually. We don't need to Zoom that.
Okay. So what I will do is get working on this, and I'm really have high hopes prior to the end of September to have all these forms populated, signed, and ready for submission to the Department of Revenue.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Good plan.
Okay.
3%, 0 for industrial and commercial, and a slightly different depreciation table. Sounds good.
Very good. Should we take a roll call, make a motion and take a roll call vote based on, we're not going to have another session that will have these numbers?
You're leaning me that way, but so that means that we probably should, but is it necessary? I don't know. So I guess I'll make a motion to accept the 3% and a 0 for industrial commercial, and not have a Zoom meeting, but to go to the office in person and sign off on that. Roll call vote. Bill Johnson,
Yes.
Marilyn Gadini,
Yes.
Martin Grudgeon, yes.
And another option that the board has is you all have passwords to DSL Gateway that if you did not want to come in and physically sign your name, you can do this through the internet, through the DSL Gateway, providing you have your username and password available to you. And I know a lot of people keep their stuff, a lot of it here, so they may not have it at home.
Yeah, I'll be in person myself, so.
I'll be
Okay.
in person.
Me too.
Excellent.
Marty and I going password. Yep.
Very good. That is what I had for open session. I don't know if any board members have anything that they needed to discuss or wanted to add.
I don't believe so.
I'm good.
So
Yeah, I'm good.
I'll make a motion
good.
to go into executive session to discuss motor vehicle abatement applications, an ATV update for Boston, and a CF applications. And we'll be only returning to open session to record all votes. Take a roll call vote. Bill Johnson,
Yes.
Marilyn Gadini,
Yes.
Martin Grudgeon, yes.
Okay.
All right, you guys are good.
Okay, we're back in open session. And we have one item to vote on.
So yes, we had one motor vehicle excise abatement denial. This is for bill number 16705. It is a 2020, and it is for a 2004 vent boat trailer. And we are denying it due to it is less than the minimum allowed by law.
Okay, I'm going to take a roll call vote to deny the abatement. Bill Johnson,
Yes.
Marilyn Gadini,
Yes.
Martin Grudgeon, yes. And I make a motion to dismiss this meeting. We have a second.
Second.
I second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye.